Hello Professor and hello class. I am Seangly and today I would like to introduce you my responsible topic, which is multilateral negotiation. What does multilateral mean? Well, multilateral negotiation occur when more than two parties are formed. Then literally it means money side, because multilateral negotiation generally call for negotiation by three or more parties over multiple issues and aim at an agreement acceptable to all participants. Therefore, it often regarded as a complex and cumbersome process. When a negotiating situation includes more than two principles, additional complexity are introduced that do not exist in the bilateral bargaining encounter. As such, we can call potential intermediate outcome as collision. How collision is formed? When collisions are a possible alternative to an agreement involving all relevant parties, negotiators need to evaluate whether their interests would be better served by joining a coalition or by remaining unaffiliated while trying to secure a multilateral agreement. Joining coalition is not cost-free. Acting alone, each negotiator is free to propose or accept any trade-off that satisfies its interests, and each is free to walk away from the bargaining table at any time. However, a coalition needs to balance its interests and desire of all its members, which are not likely to be perfectly aligned in all cases. Another factor to consider is the possibility of coalition breakdown or dissolution. And how communication is managed. Several important aspects of negotiation are typically addressed during the preliminary stage, which are a list of participants to agree upon, initial coalition emerge, role differentiation take place among the participants, and substantive and procedural issues are addressed as the parties learn more about the problem. And develop an agenda, search for formula or general framework within which agreement can be reached. And how can be participated as a membership? The most important rule for group membership is that invite the people you needed and no more of that. Each additional person involved process cost, communication get more difficult, and tasks of managing the process get harder. But adding people can bring benefit also, such as more ideas, increased expertise, the ability to contribute greater resources to an agreement. As such, how should one decide whether or not to include a candidate? A general rule is to invite a person only if you can articulate a clear reason why his or her presence would help. Individuals may make a useful addition for two kinds of reasons. The first one is that they have something to contribute to make a better decision. And another reason is that any solution will need their approval or support. And another part to discuss is about organizing the substance of discussion. After deciding who will come, the next question is how to use group member time and effort in a coordinated fashion. An individual will often benefit from taking some time to organize a process to guide his thinking. So the first one is choosing purposes. Too often, the participants in large negotiation or problem-solving sessions have different purposes and still worse, they don't even know it. The first task of a group is to establish common purposes. What would the members like to get done together? Articulate ideas about the purpose before the meeting. A group will make more progress if everyone comes prepared to make a useful contribution. The second one is that circulate a memo to all the invitees with some preliminary thought about what needs to be decided and what information could help that decision. It can do some interview preparation before coming and possibly consult any constituent who will be concerned with the outcome. Another point is about set aspirations. The effort devoted to any one project can easily expand to fill the entire time. And if we only set one goal and fail to achieve it, the participants are not going to return to the same group with much enthusiasm. A way to avoid the problem is to set a series of aspirations, and it is hard to know whether any particular one is too ambitious to accomplishing its time available. If we only get the first done, that will at least be something. And if we can get that done with time to spare, we can go on to the next. Another point is about solicit input on purpose. Group members are more likely to work hard toward a purpose if they have helped to create it. They are more likely to see expectations more their performance as responsible if they have had a hand in setting them. And if possible, give everyone an opportunity to offer his or her idea about the purpose for the meeting. So, doing so, it may risk an open disagreement over the purpose, but an open disagreement is easier to deal with effectively than a buried one. Another one is use a framework to coordinate the group thinking. An individual might get away without adopting a systematic approach to decision making, but the group cannot be so cavalier. It is even worse when dealing with very complex problems like the one group typically faces. One person may be able to keep a complex problem organized in her head the way some people can play and must benefit from some formal structure. When one is working with a group, formal structure becomes a necessity, and using a framework helps reduce coordination loss by keeping everyone focused on the same subject at the same time, and it can reduce conceptual loss as well. And another one is about facilitation. The facilitator can be thought as the very important person. He or she can be a direct discussion by choosing topic and making sure everyone has a chance to contribute. She or he can suggest subgroup division by managing work in order to free or other participants to work on the substance. And the success of the meeting will be some degree depend on how well she or he play that role. And what sort of person should we be looking for? We want someone with a good head of organizing a complex problem. They should be able to keep the issue straight and know what questions are important to ask, and also need to be able to solve the problem, but should be able to see its outline and know how to direct people toward the problem they can solve. Last but not least is about documentation. People often think a person who takes notes at a meeting as the one who contributes less, yet much can be accomplished by a skillful person. He or she needs to be good at using complex statements to be the simple one, and need to check his understanding against the contributor's meaning. The last part is about impediment to effectiveness. There are 2 points to discuss. The first one is about structure. Clearly, the sheer number of participants in multilateral negotiation is a major problem. Each participant has interests that require accommodation. And another point is about process. Several processes are strongly affected by structural features of multilateral negotiation. So, It often loses its meaning, and in multilateral negotiation, because a concession offered to one participant may have a different effect upon the rest, and even considered by some of their interests. In short, in bilateral negotiation, structure dominates, which is the two parties are adversaries united by their common and conflict interests. In contrast, multilateral negotiations are a complex affair because the parties are in no established structural relationship to each other and roles are multiple. So we can say that multilateral negotiation is the management of complexity in order to produce the outcome. That's all for my presentation. Thank you so much.